In 1776, on the eastern shores of a vast continent, 13 colonies, disparate in their origins yet united in their growing discontent, stood at the precipice of rebellion. Across the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, the British Empire, a global titan of unprecedented military and economic might, reigned supreme. Its flag flew over a quarter of the world's landmass. Its navy commanded the seas, and its influence shaped the destiny of nations. Yet, in the bustling towns and quiet farmlands of America, a revolutionary idea was taking root, an idea that would ignite a war for independence and forge a new nation conceived in liberty. This is the story of a declaration, a document born from the crucible of conflict that would not only sever the ties with a powerful empire, but would also redefine the very essence of governance and inspire a global quest for freedom that echoes to this day. The American colonies, once fledgling outposts of the British Crown, had blossomed into thriving economic centers by the mid-18th century. Their ships sailed the world's oceans, their farms produced bountiful harvests, and their cities buzzed with commerce and intellectual ferment. This prosperity, however, was not matched by political power. Colonists, who considered themselves loyal British subjects, found themselves without a voice in the Parliament that governed their lives. The principle of no taxation without representation became a rallying cry, encapsulating the deep-seated frustration of a people who felt their fundamental rights were being ignored. The conclusion of the costly 7 Years' War in 1763 marked a turning point. Facing a mountain of war debt, the British government turned to its American colonies for revenue, imposing a series of taxes, from the Stamp Act to the Townshend Acts. Each new tax was met with fiercer resistance. Protests, once sporadic, grew into organized movements. Boycotts of British goods crippled transatlantic trade, and a network of committees of correspondence spread the flames of dissent from New England to Georgia. The simmering tensions finally boiled over on a frigid December night in 1773. In an act of bold defiance, a group of colonists disguised as Native Americans boarded British ships in Boston Harbor and dumped hundreds of chests of tea into the water, an event that would become known as the Boston Tea Party. Britain's response was swift and severe. A series of punitive measures, dubbed the Intolerable Acts by the colonists, were passed to punish Massachusetts and reassert royal authority. The port of Boston was closed, local self-government was curtailed, and British troops were quartered in private homes. Rather than quelling the rebellion, these acts galvanized the colonies into unified action. In April 1775, the shot heard round the world was fired at Lexington and Concord. As colonial militiamen clashed with British regulars, the American Revolution had begun. In response, the Second Continental Congress convened, and in a momentous decision, established the Continental Army, appointing George Washington as its commander-in-chief. As the war intensified, the calls for a complete break from Britain grew louder. In June 1776, the Continental Congress appointed a committee of 5 to articulate the reasons for this separation. The task of penning the historic document fell primarily to a young, eloquent Virginian delegate named Thomas Jefferson, drawing deeply from the wellspring of Enlightenment philosophy, particularly the ideas of John Locke. Jefferson crafted a powerful argument for independence. He asserted that all men are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He argued that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and when a government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. The Declaration of Independence was more than a list of grievances against King George III. It was a radical assertion of popular sovereignty and a timeless defense of human rights. On July 4, 1776, after days of debate and revision, the Continental Congress officially adopted the Declaration, a momentous act that marked the birth of the United States of America. The Declaration's impact reverberated far beyond the battlefields of America. Its powerful words and revolutionary principles became a beacon of hope for oppressed peoples around the world. In 1789, the leaders of the French Revolution drew inspiration from its call for liberty and equality, incorporating its ideals into their own declaration of the rights of man and of the citizen. Across the Atlantic, in the colonies of Latin America, leaders like Simon Bolivar looked to the American example as they waged their own struggles for independence from Spanish and Portuguese rule. The American Declaration of Independence fundamentally reshaped the global understanding of sovereignty. It challenged the age-old doctrine of the divine right of kings and championed a new, virtue radical idea that political power ultimately resides not with monarchs or emperors, but with the people themselves. The path to securing the ideals of the Declaration was long and arduous. The Revolutionary War raged for 7 more years, a brutal and costly conflict that tested the resolve of the fledgling nation. Yet, through perseverance, strategic victories, and crucial support from foreign allies like France, the Continental Army ultimately prevailed. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially ending the war. In this historic treaty, Great Britain formally recognized the independence of the United States, ceding a vast territory that stretched from the Atlantic to the Mississippi River. The new republic, founded on the principles of liberty and self-government, had taken its place among the nations of the world. The Declaration of Independence stands as more than just a political document. It is a testament to a philosophical revolution that forever altered the course of human history, while the new nation struggled to live up to its own ideals, particularly in its failure to abolish the institution of slavery. The principles enshrined in the Declaration became a powerful engine for social and political progress. It fueled the movements for abolition, women's suffrage, and civil rights, serving as a constant reminder of the nation's founding promise. From 1776 onward, the idea of liberty, once a concept debated by philosophers, became a universal aspiration, a powerful force that continues to inspire struggles for freedom and democracy across the globe.